what inspired you to leave this position of somewhat security that you now have, where you have money coming in, a book of business, to take another massive risk and start your own company?
So it's at the end of the day, it's like what is that you want and how far you want to go. And with real estate, there's no limits. So if you want to do a 9-to-5 job, then you can find that. It's so easy, but then you're limited.
Welcome to The Remix, the video podcast that keeps you in the mix of everything real estate. I'm Noelle Frieson.
And I'm Eric Anderson, and we are so excited today to talk about real estate as a second career, how to restart your life after things happen or changes, or you're just bored or you want to do something different. We are so excited to talk about this. This is something that Noelle has done in her life.
Yep, I got divorced, took the plunge, and my life is beautiful now.
And
beautiful.
I did it in my life. I was probably like 29, so not as exciting as
That's
as
not
yours.
a 40-year-old or a
That's
woman
true.
of a certain age.
That's true. But we have some really exciting people to talk to today. But first, let's introduce you to our power panel.
So we have our power panel here. We have Omar Sharif, who is our flipping expert. He's the VP of the Alexander Anderson Capital Group, and he will get you flipping and burring and all of that good stuff. We also have...
It's cheaper to keep her, Nima.
Oh my God. We have Nima Ameri, who is the managing partner at Ameri law firm, and he is our legal eagle. He is also our rock star deal maker. And what's really special about today, and I am so happy to have you on.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Not you, Nima.
And you're just gorgeous today. No.
I'm really confused. Are we talking about me or
We are not talking about
All
you.
right. I'm going to go back to
Guys,
being awesome by myself.
Guys, we have Yara Chamas. Yara is the founder and CEO of Innovation Title, and Yara is going to tell her story, how she went from being a stay-at-home mom to being the diva, and I mean the diva that she is.
Yeah, I can vouch for that.
The diva of real estate. And we want to know, why did you get in the real estate field? Yara, welcome to our show. We're excited, so excited to have you here today.
Thank you, Eric. Thank you, Noelle. Appreciate it.
You have an amazing story. Your story is like inspirational. So inspire everyone.
Okay, well, thank you for saying that. So I was stay-at-home mom for 11 years, and I got divorced, and like anyone, like I had to figure out what I'm doing with my life. So I had some money, so I opened a kids party place because that's all I knew was kids, right? So it was a fun place. It was cute. It was whatever, but it wasn't really something that was gonna give me great income. So it was a learning experience for me. I learned a lot from it, and at the same time, I collected a huge amount of debt. So
kids party place equals debt?
Not really, if you know what you're doing. So I didn't.
Louis bags on the Amex equals debt.
So I was 30. I want to say this was like 6 years. So it was 38 years old, $80,000 in debt, and decided to close the business and try to do something else. So that was 6 years ago.
And you said you'd been a stay-at-home mom for 11 years.
Yes.
11 years.
11 years. So
shout out to all those stay-at-home moms. We love you. Thank you for raising our children.
Yeah, so like even though I went to college, I had my degree, I worked before, but once I had my kids, I stayed home. Like all moms want to do, like give the time for their kids. And then, once you have to figure out what to do with your life, then it is what it is. So after 11 years, you don't have that much experience. So what do? So you have to start over.
So why real estate? Why title?
So,
what excited you about real estate? Did you smell money? Like, what happened?
I did not smell money, but I felt that real estate is a field where there's no limit, like if you have the motivation, you have the right tools, you put yourself out there. So I have my real estate license, I have my title license. It's really easy class to take, and to pass. You do a great job teaching it, guys.
Center for Real Estate Education.
Yes, of course.
Thank you. Title.
So it's at the end of the day, it's like what is that you want and how far you want to go. And with real estate, there's no limits. So if you want to do a 9-to-5 job, then you can find that. It's so easy, but then you're limited. And I did not want to be limited.
What do you mean no limits in what category? In money?
In money, in relationships, in growing, in expanding. Like if you have a 9-to-5 job, you're just clogging in and out, and you're gonna gap at some point, whether it's like with your title, with your promotion, and with your money. But with real estate, there's no limit of how much money you can make.
Why? Did real estate excite you? Did you know about real estate? Did you have friends in real estate?
I didn't know much about real estate, honestly, especially that I moved here from another country. So like zip codes was not something that existed. So it was, yeah.
Did they have
What country?
Real estate in that country?
We have real estate. We don't have zip codes, Nima. Okay, we barely have roads.
what country?
I'm originally from Lebanon.
Wow.
Wow. Yeah. Okay.
So my knowledge of real estate is nothing compared to people who actually grew up in this country when it comes to like geography, roads, communities, school district, all of these things. Yes, my kids grew up here, but I didn't know much about real estate. I don't know like how it affects like anything, right? So, but again, I was motivated and I saw an opportunity that, it's an easy thing to do. I'm not saying it's easy, like, okay, everyone can do it, but like, there's enough tools, you can do it. You want something, you definitely can get there.
So what was your first step?
So my first step, honestly, like I called a lot of my friends because I was looking to do something, and it happened that one of my friends' father had a title company. So I applied for a job there, and I interviewed. He saw my personality. He was like, "Oh, you can do good in sales." I'm like, "Okay." So I'm definitely gonna do good in sales, but I also like I have with
Modesty is a virtue.
I mean, you have to be confident.
You do have to be confident. Guys out there, you do. You have to be confident to be in sales, to be in real estate. Please, you are the most confident person in the world.
That's not true.
I think you're using the wrong words.
I think Omar is
I think you're using the wrong words.
It can be.
So wait, you said something earlier. You said you saw an opportunity, right?
Right.
But was it that you saw an opportunity in real estate, or from what you're saying now, that you were just looking for a job and this job in real estate happened to present itself to you to apply?
No, I saw an opportunity in real estate, like I said, because there's no limit. I didn't want to have a job where I'm limited to my resources, to my relationships with people, you can only grow with the people around you.
Perfect. So I'm just trying to get, our audience, our listeners, right? At what point, like, were you looking at different fields and you looked and you saw real estate and said, hey, this is where I see an opportunity? Like, how did real estate come to the forefront where you recognized that that's where you saw an opportunity? Like, what was your thought process in that moment?
What led you there?
Your kid's gym is it's not doing well. You're like, look, I need to change something. Like,
Right.
what happened in that moment when your life kind of hit rock bottom with debt and your
I need to pay
business
$80,000 back.
Right.
$80,000 in debt.
Yes.
That kept you up at night.
Yeah, it's actually like the light bulb clicked when I was trying to get gas in my car and my credit card got declined and for $20, and I couldn't put gas in my car, and also
We've all had that happen. Come on.
Yeah, but not for
Except
the
for
same
Omar,
reasons.
but I've had that happen.
Real estate.
Low debt.
right.
So, all right. So at that moment, right, like you're kind of at rock bottom.
Right.
What were all the options you were looking at? Like, what were you doing in that moment that out of these options, real estate stood
So
out?
I was hosting on a weekly basis a networking group in my kid's place, and one of the people in the group were like a couple of real estate agents, real estate attorneys, and I saw how much opportunity they had and how many relationships they had. So I had looked into like marketing or like
Were they successful? Like they would show up?
They were very successful. They showed up. Like consistency and showing up is very important in anything, right? So I had an opportunity to be a French teacher, but also again that's limited. So do you want to be like?
We love Paris.
Oui, on adore Paris, but like you want the flexibility when you have younger kids, when you're stay-at-home mom, you want something that's gonna be flexible with your schedule, that's gonna get you income, and then it's hard to be a single mom. It's like, like what do you do with your kids? You don't have enough money to put them in daycare like all day and have a 9-to-5 job. So it was an opportunity that, was flexible with my schedule.
Were they single moms as well? Like were these people in your sphere of friends who are coming to networking that you're looking at their life and you're like, this may work for me? Were they single moms?
Yeah, so I saw struggles with other single moms who had 9-to-5 job, who would also ask me to help them, like whenever they couldn't, like they had to be early for a job or had to do some work, and they're like, can you watch my kids? And which I'm happy to do because I had more flexibility. So it helps a lot. Like this field is really helpful with flexibility, helpful with connection and growing. And it's something that you put your work, you're not limited because it's what you put into it.
Got it.
So these people in your networking group, right? Because this was the catalyst. This is what I'm getting from your story.
Right.
That these two people in this group that you helped, this was the catalyst. You saw them and you saw this opportunity in real estate. Were they single moms at the time?
No.
Good
One was a
question.
single dad, actually, and the other person was just...
This guy's got the right idea.
But why title? Like, why not become a real estate agent? Like, where did you even know the difference at that point?
I didn't know anything at that point.
Okay.
So, but having with title is a bit different than real estate. Title is like you just go and call on attorneys like Nima, or realtors, right?
Well, that's one reason not
Right.
to enter into the
Not
field.
to,
Nobody
like
answers.
Nima, right? He doesn't answer his phone or his text. It just like it felt more like me because I also like with my background, like I'm an architect, so it was helpful for me to help
Whoa,
realtors.
you're an
and-
architect.
yes,
I didn't know you were an architect.
Yeah. So that's what I went for school for. But
So you have some kind of experience in real estate before.
well, not in this country. Again, like even the way we build things. Even the way we build things in Lebanon is completely different than here. Like,
But just the concept of real estate,
yes,
right?
I had it. So it kind of helped me a little bit, but really it was more like, like the relationship and, the persistence of creating those
Yara, what
opportunities.
were the things that title gave you when you were trying to deal with that home work balance? So me too. I'm a
Right.
single mom. And I get it. You have, you walk through the door and you have people who want your attention. And you're like, how do I go to the play dates? How do I, go to the class mom meetings? How do I do all of that stuff? What did getting into real estate and specifically title for you, what did that give you?
So most importantly, flexibility, right? Because you make your own hours. When you're selling anything, when you're a salesperson, you can make your own hours, your own schedule. So being a real estate agent also, that works. Yes, sometimes you have to go on the weekend, but you know what you're getting yourself into. You know how long it's going to take. You can work with your client on the schedule. For me, it was the same. So I made my own hours. So I was able to be there for my kids, for their activities, for their games, and be able to put them on the bus.
You
in the
didn't
morning.
know? Did someone tell you that? You didn't know that?
No, I didn't know that. It just happened. It was like
Can I call bullshit?
Why?
Right? All right. So I feel like everybody talks about these fields where if you do this, you can design your own hours. But if you, in my opinion, and correct me if I'm wrong, Yara, if you choose a field and you have that mindset that you're going to be in a commission-based business, yeah, you can choose your own hours. But no matter what, the less hours you work, the less commission you make, right?
No, but
No,
it's
if you
different.
work smart,
It's different.
it's how you work. So it's not like how much business how many clients I'm collecting. It's like what kind of clients am I working with and what value do I bring so that I have consistent business from those clients.
Do you work with everybody or do you
No.
pick specific clients?
Well, with title is different. So like with real estate is a little bit different. With title, I can pick who I want to work with because what I like to do is bring value. Like what make us different from other title companies, we like to help our agents grow. We provide a great service, but we just don't want to be there like, okay, we're just going to do your business and we're going to do all the paperwork. We're going to point you in the right direction of what the mistakes that other agents or other attorneys are doing, which bring us to all the mistakes that new real estate agents do because they're not directed in the right
Okay.
place. A lot of things, like I'll give you a silly example, like writing a contract because you call this client Chris the whole time and you write the contract under Chris. Meanwhile, his name is Christopher. Now the mortgage is Chris, the contract is Chris. We're sitting at the table and my closer is sitting there and say, oh, ouch. The name is Christopher, not Chris. Now go back to the underwriter and write everything. So this is what we bring different than other title companies. We educate real estate agents. And you guys are doing a great job educating your agents because I know you do a lot of seminars with these agents to point them in the right direction. Same thing, with mortgage people and attorneys who are not real estate attorneys. Like Nima knows real estate. Some attorneys,
He thinks he does.
I'm just saying that.
So let me ask you a loaded question.
debate.
Hold on. This is a loaded question. And please don't kick me under the table. I'm in the middle of a potential issue here. So women in real estate, right? So you're starting into a title company world. Now, I mean, Omar and I have a lot of friends in the title business. I don't think any of them are women, are they?
We know a few.
Women title, CEO
Not
women
no,
title
no,
companies?
I don't know.
We don't know
You're
any.
right. Okay.
So I don't know any.
I don't either.
Yeah. So, how does that come into play? Like you're brand new to this country.
Right.
You didn't even know what real estate was.
Well, I feel like she's
Well,
been
I
in
mean,
this
I
country
was,
for a while at this
well,
point.
at that point, I was,
All right,
yes,
you're not
like
brand new.
14
But
years.
you're brand new to
Still.
real
To
estate.
the industry, yes,
You
to
know,
the industry.
So like how did being a woman affect you
Eric's like, did being a woman hold you back?
I didn't say that.
No,
I
it's
did
fine.
not say.
I see what your question is. So yes,
You
we
asked the
are.
question for me.
I understand.
Well, one, I mean, I think this is a great question.
Yes.
Because I
Don't be
think.
scared, Eric.
Wait. I think the answer is what makes real estate so special. So, as a woman, did being a woman affect you going into title, opening up a title company, being in real estate?
So, okay, so did a woman affect me? Yes. So,
But
which
in
way?
what way?
Right, exactly. So, this industry, like real estate, being a real estate agent, there's a lot of real estate agent females more than males. But being as a title
Except in
owner,
commercial.
Except what?
In commercial.
Which is-
There are more men.
We should talk about
Right.
that. How in the commercial world is
We
dominated by
will.
men.
Right.
Yeah. So
And the title world is
title
dominated.
No. So title salespeople. There's a lot of female title salespeople.
Really?
But yes, but title company owners are very few. Okay.
You're the only one I know.
Yeah.
So it takes a lot to manage a title company and also building relationships. And depends, I want to say building consistent relationships. Because the way our industry unfortunately is in a lot of title companies, it's not very compliant. It's like what you're gonna give me so I can give you industry. But
No, I actually have like something in my throat. Like I've been doing this for like 5 minutes.
Are you implying that because you're a woman, people wanted you to give them something back?
So being a
order to
woman,
get their business?
so men thinks that like they're
Like a
more
kickback?
powerful. No, yes, kickback. But also men thinks like, okay, they have a better bond with other men
Right.
in this industry. So like, yeah, you're my boy. I'm gonna give you the business. I hear it so much. Like, okay, no, so and so is my boy. I can't give you the business. Okay, stay with your boy because the value that your boy is bringing is nothing compared to what we can give you.
How did
So
how did you work around that? That's big, and that's
Right.
big and you talked about we've talked about commercial. Commercial real estate is male dominated. So all you women out there get into commercial because we need you. But how did you work
Did you ask
around
me that question?
Huh?
Did you ask me that before you said it?
about what?
If we need,
Yes, we need women. Anyway,
we need talent.
He's canceled, guys.
So you could be a
Canceled.
woman, you could be a man. Be
How
whatever.
did you
We love
how
you all.
did you get around
Right.
the woman factor of being with this old boys club and needing to work your way in there?
So I'm still getting around it, okay? I mean, I am, and I'm still getting around it, but bring value and stand out different. So the way we stand out different, like I said, we do a lot of educational seminars for the agents that people don't do. Other title companies, they do parties. So if you're that person who want to party, don't come to me because I'm not going to work with you. I want to bring value so we can grow together. Getting you drunk and serving you like a $100 steak is great, but that's not gonna get you more clients. That's not gonna
Wait,
point
that's
you
not going to happen after
That's a really good point, though.
me in. Okay.
But
How did you open up your company? Like what led you to open up a company?
So I started working for Victoria Abstract, my previous boss, and I grew the sales of the company within 1 year from 400 to 1.2 million.
Wow.
Yeah. So, and how did I do that, right? So I did it because I brought something different. Again, not the partying, not the lunches, not the dinners. And I have one
Well, what was
policy
it?
in my company, by the way, we don't do happy hours at Innovation. So we don't do any of these things. Well, what we bring is like help you with your marketing campaigns, help
that.
you with
Because
bringing.
we at the Center for Realistic Education, we do happy 6 hours.
Okay. So you're doing happy hours to create bonding between your real estate agents,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
And like that's
Yeah.
different. That's team
Okay.
bonding.
Okay.
You're not taking clients out and getting them
Drunk.
Smash.
drunk.
I mean, if they
Smash.
get drunk, we don't necessarily condone getting drunk, but we're not gonna.
Right,
Say,
but
you know,
I'm saying it's
we're not
different.
gonna
Like
stop
I
them.
do team building with my team. Like we do like the axe throwing. We did top golf. We do happy hours like from 4 to 6 with like appetizers, but not like
Okay.
getting drunk. So that's
Got it.
different. So what we bring different is like we do like marketing sessions. We bring value of like how to focus on getting like more clients or build your agents. Like I remember Tuesdays were my bagel days. So I would go to Panera. And again, like I like it with title, you can spend like $20 and under on every client. So Panera had a special for $9. I was able to take 24 bagels and cream cheese. So I would pre-order the night before like 20
Oh, wow.
bagel packs, right?
Okay.
And they put them in this beautiful box, gorgeous box. And I made stickers with my name on them, and I would stick them. And it's all about presentation when you're doing
Yes,
sales.
we agree.
So, and I would start at 8 a.m. And sometimes you want to go early because the attorneys are there before the paralegal who's the gatekeeper and won't let us in, or you want to go late when
so
they
Wait, the
Sneak
lawyers are
in.
there first?
Sometimes, yeah, well, not you, Nima. I know.
What kind of lawyer is that?
Yeah, the one who actually works.
For all you lawyers out there,
go,
how little work do you have to do that you get there
go.
first? Like,
So I would start at 8 a.m. after I put my kids on the bus, and I would start, I would cold call, show up with a bagel box and say, hi, and I got a lot of rejection. We work with so-and-so. I'm like, it's fine. I was in the area. I just want to stop by.
Did they take the bagels?
Of course they did.
Okay.
So actually one time one lady said to me, oh, we don't like bagels. We're very healthy. You don't need to bring anything. I'm like, well, I like to bring you something. And she said, you can bring water. So what do? So I went and I took their logo and I put it on labels and I wrapped 24 water bottles, put them on a silver platter with a clear foil and said, I got you water.
That was
So that was
beautiful.
it was kind of F you in your face. I'm going to get you
No, but
water.
it's beautiful.
But it's creative, right?
But she let you in.
But she let me in and that
Because
left an
she saw
impression.
her logo too.
Yes.
That's
so
wonderful.
yo,
I
why
left-
do you want to deal with her? She sounds like a B word.
It doesn't
Yeah, but
matter.
It's about money. You have to go for the business. Who cares?
I mean, you have to. And that's what I'm saying about real estate. There's so many doors open for you. If this door closes, you go to another person.
Why are we talking about? So we got to water. Let's roll back to what Omar asked. All right, the stages of how you got
Right,
into title.
so I built a company.
So wait,
I-
before you build a company, you go. You're at your house. You see these people in real estate. You see opportunity. You apply and get a job. Now you're working in title.
Right.
How long did it take you to grow before you decided you're going to make your own title company? And at that moment where you were just an employee, before you were an owner of a title company, walk us through what your responsibilities were and how it affected your family and what you went through before you owned it. So let's start. You're hired. This is the phase in your life where you're hired. Walk us through that phase.
And also, how do you go from a top sales rep to a business owner? Because it's a very huge
question.
jump,
Yeah.
right? So why not just stay a top sales rep and continue doing that?
Okay,
So walk us through.
Right. So when I was working at Victoria Abstract as a sales rep, there was a lot of things that the company protocols I did not like. My most important thing is my credibility. So if I promise you're gonna get good service, then you're gonna get good service.
I will say this is something that real estate agents who are thinking about
Truth.
becoming brokers should also
Yeah.
think about, because so many of you guys come to the Center for Real Estate Agent, you're like, wait, I want to be a broker. You want to be a broker even before you're a salesperson.
Yes.
The back office
Yes.
is what makes a good brokerage, what makes a good title company.
100%.
If you don't have that back office, then you're not going to help the real estate agents that are underneath you. You're not going to help your title salespeople.
It
Exactly.
limits your growth. So if everybody saw that the TV show Suits, which I think is still airing, there was this the main lawyer who was like a Nima-esque lawyer, but
I've actually been called that guy before.
so this guy
Harvey.
was
Yeah.
amazing, but he had an amazing. Was she a paralegal or an assistant?
Paralegal.
But she
Somewhat
owned
love interest,
everything.
yes.
She knew she knew how much sugar she needed. She knew when he woke up in the morning what kind of mood she was going to be in. That was his back office, and he helped her grow.
My staff knows what
made
kind
it
of mood I'm going to
amazing.
be in every morning. Same every morning.
But you
Right, so-
wanted
I wake
to
up in a
have
good
a
mood.
company with a good back
Yeah, so
office.
there was other salespeople in the company besides me, but they didn't have the tools that I had because I created my own tools. So I was doing much better than them, and they hated me. But it wasn't their fault
So
because
you went, you went Darwin, right? Listen, at the end of the day, when you're the best, when you're producing, why are you going to make money for someone else? Call it what you will. If you can do something
Right.
better, why not do it and make more money? But let's go back to, again, now you're hired, you're climbing the ladder. The people listening here want to know your story. How did that affect your life right now? You're at $80,000 in debt.
Right.
What did you go through? Did you start paying your debt down first and you
So-
started making money? How were you getting compensated? Was it commission
What
based?
did you
Was
do
it
with your
salary?
first profit check? What did you do?
Let the poor woman speak, guys. Go ahead,
So let me
Yara.
answer Nima first. So how did
Thank you.
okay, so
Bye-bye, Eric.
Go ahead, Yara.
okay.
Oh my God, I am going to put you both in the corner. Yara.
Hello, guys. Okay, so I have to say the first 6 months were really bad. I literally slept 3 hours. I did everything that I now have 15 people to do. I did it myself. There's so many ways for you to make an impression. So I tried my best. It was hard. And it was hard to balance the kids, the activities, the clients. And because I'm a little bit of a control freak, I wanted to be CC'd on every single email, which now we still do at Innovation. Every salesperson is CC'd on every single email, so you know what's going on. So even if your client lost the email and they ask you for the same thing over and over again,
Everybody sees it.
right? You know that it's there. So
Does
that
that
was,
happen often?
It happens a lot. So so that got me.
Let's just go back now. Not innovation. Innovation doesn't exist yet. You are now working.
So I'm working.
Victoria,
Right, it's a Victoria Abstract.
Abstract.
Okay, so actually
Victoria's
it was
Secret Abstract?
They called us Victoria's Secret all the time.
And this is why women don't get
As a joke.
anywhere.
That's why women well, I mean, if you stand out for yourself, you will.
No.
So anyway.
Eric's comment was the facetious one, not Victoria's.
I don't know how you do it with those guys.
I don't know how I do it either. You see
I'm
my
trying to
face?
keep her on topic here.
I am so sure that this audience sees my face where I'm like literally
rolling your eyes.
We're going from 2018 to
Alright,
2022.
so let's
to
go back. So I
2014.
started building more sales, right? And I built like a lot of sales in 1 year. So I decided at that point it was first hard 6 months, and I like had to keep communicating with my kids, saying like, this is not going to be fun. Mom's never home, right? But it's a temporary situation until you get where you need to be.
And I think, that is a really, really important point.
Right.
You have to know that the hard work that you put in, because you feel like, well, it's taking you away from your kids. I know when we first started the school, I felt like, well, I'm never with my son. I'm never there for him. But you take that and you get to the point where you can be.
Yes,
right?
everything is temporary, right?
Right,
So you know,
exactly.
if you give it your heart and your soul, you're gonna get there. So once you get there, you can just like, relax a little bit, and that's what I'm saying about like flexibility. So the beginning was hard, but it was a temporary situation which you can figure out how to manage. And once you get to the results that you want, and that's what I'm talking about, the flexibility part. So real estate is very flexible because now I can start making my own hours. Once I established my clients, now I don't have to go there at 8 a.m. with a bagel because now I have
After
the
you made it.
relationship. After I made it,
Yeah.
which it took me a year. I mean, it's how much work you.
Were you getting paid when you started salary or commission?
I was on a draw.
What's
Okay.
that?
So a draw is like you get like a minimum payment, and then like every 6 months you adjust and you see like how much money you're bringing in. But
So you're commission based,
Yes,
effectively.
yes.
And they would give you an advance on your commission.
Yes.
Was that enough to cover your bills, or did you have to
No.
take a bet? Did you have to take a risk on
It was
yourself?
enough to
Yes.
pay for gas.
It was enough.
Real estate agents don't have draws.
Yes. So it wasn't enough.
Okay, so you were betting on yourself. You were saying to yourself, I'm going to make this work.
Yeah.
And and guys, so whoever's listening, like this is super important because real estate in general is not a salaried basis. So a lot of people want to get into it and are looking for an immediate means of compensation. That's not going to happen here. So you have to be willing to invest in yourself, bet on yourself. But when it comes, right, it comes and it starts coming more and more.
Yes.
So
And
all right.
if you go into a specific property manager job, or if you go into a leasing job, then you can have a salaried real estate position, but that's not where the big money is.
Right.
So we're talking about big money here.
So you took this bet on yourself. You're there for about a year now, right? You build up your own book of business. You're out on sales. Were they telling you, like, were you getting trained where the owner who's now deceased, was he telling you,
He's
Yara?
not deceased. He's not deceased.
Oh, I
He's
thought you
still
said
alive.
died.
There was another one.
I didn't say he died.
Foundation.
The owner of foundation. The
Oh,
first
So,
company.
or
yeah.
whatever,
Yeah.
whoever owned
First
it,
company, yeah.
was he telling you, Yara, this is how you train, this is what you do, or were you teaching yourself as you went along?
No, I taught myself when I went along. And that's why it's very important when you're at a brokerage as a real estate agent that you have the support. If you don't, like, it's very important where you choose to hang your license. Don't go after just like if it's a name. Just look what support they.
It's never about the commission. It's about the support behind it. It's about who is your mentor.
It's not
you
the-
need to have
yeah.
a mentor.
It's
It's not the stupid gimmicks or like the,
You need mentorship.
the
you need
flashy
someone you can talk
nonsense.
to.
No.
So who is your mentor? Did you have a mentor?
I did
We
not
hadn't
have-
met yet.
I did
What?
not. Okay.
So we're one year into it. You're a top sales rep in this company now.
Right. So I'm the top sales of the company. And like I said, my back office was very important. So as good as I am, I was losing business because my back office was not
Right.
good enough. So my clients were like, we love you. You're doing an amazing job. You're bringing so much value for us. But the back office, like our attorneys, because a lot of attorneys have relationships, right? So when my agents are saying to their attorneys, I want you to use this company because they bring value to us, but my back office is messing up. Now they have no leg to stand on. So I was like faced by no back office, but I'm sorry, I cannot give you business anymore.
Got it.
So, but that's
What
why.
was the light bulb moment? The moment you said,
So-
I'm
So
going
I
to.
call that the aha moment. What was your Noelle? What was your aha moment?
So my aha moment is the big problem happened when one payoff at that's why title companies are important. A payoff of a mortgage ended up not being paid for a long period of time. That's a lien that's not going to go anywhere, right? And now we close on the property, and the lien was not discharged because the mortgage
so
was
the
not
money
paid.
never transported
The money
hands.
transported, but like you had to do a payoff, and then they just didn't pay it. So at that moment, I was like, okay, this is not okay. I work so hard to build my clients, and I'm losing them over a stupid mistake like this. It's not an acceptable.
Well, that's not a stupid mistake.
It's not an acceptable.
That's literally the
Right, it's a
definition
big-
of malpractice.
Yes, malpractice, exactly. So at that point, I was like, okay, I was contemplating going to another company. But then I was all like, I'm going to be maybe faced with the same problems. And I figured, like, I want to have my own back office. So I know, like, when you call me and you say I made a mistake, I tell you very confidently.
That call's not coming from me. I don't know what's in your cup, but like.
No, but when someone
I'll burn my own house down and walk out and blame a bird.
So if somebody calls me and say, well, this what happened, and I confidently say, no, I'm 100% sure it's not on us. Okay. I stand every morning at the meeting. We have a meeting every morning at 9:15 in my office.
She drives to work every day playing Shaggy's It Wasn't Me.
Oh my God, I can't. And I tell my team, like, I'm so proud because I can go to meetings and say, we don't make mistakes. I'm not perfect.
Really
my team is perfect. My team and like Marissa is the CEO of the company. I love her. Like,
all right,
Jennifer,
nobody's
my head
perfect, but
processor,
you set very high standard.
Yes.
That you expect a high level of performance. Everyone makes mistakes, small or large.
We all make mistakes, but look, I very confidently can say when people call me and say like, "What's going on with this and this?" I know it's not a title issue. I know because that's how ignorance. Some like agents are like they're very ignorant.
Why are you pointing at Eric?
I'm not. I'm saying I'm doing this. I'm doing hands.
All right,
I didn't feel like I was being pointed at.
Can we go and talk about the major question here?
Yeah.
You're 1 year in. You just went from having $80,000 in credit card debt,
Right.
and in 12 months, while you're still taking draws, building a business, you make this massive pivot to opening your own title company. Like, that's not small changes. Like, you're jumping from one level to a completely different level.
Yes.
In that 12-month, one, did you pay that debt down? Two, aside from the work, what inspired you to leave this position of somewhat security that you now have, where you have money coming in, a book of business, to take another massive risk
Right.
and start your own company as a single mom?
Okay, so I did not want to settle for what limits me, right?
Brava.
Yeah.
I love
So
that.
I don't want
I
to
would say
settle.
bravo.
Well,
And I don't have a mustache, so I'm just going to say good job.
the last time I checked, she was a girl, and it's brava.
Okay, never heard that.
Didn't know that.
My mom's an opera singer. I know these things.
Okay.
Okay.
You're so uncouth, Eric. Mama.
Okay. But you
So I said yes, like I said, like so
Mustache roll.
there's no limit with real estate. You want to limit yourself, you want to grow. I have two amazing daughters that I want to like see them grow and give them everything I can possibly give. So
Bravo.
Bravo.
you want another
And
language?
if
Omar?
it's multiple people, it's bravi. Just so you know.
Did you just make that shit up?
No, my mom's an opera singer.
All right,
She was at the Met for like 10 years.
Did you pay off your $80,000 in debt before you made this jump?
No, so here's the thing. You have with everything in life comes risks, right? And then you have to make decisions. And sometimes when you feel it's wrong, just jump in. Okay? So it was very
Right, when you feel
scary.
it's right,
Wow.
It was very scary. Like I still had debt and
She meant when you feel it's right, jump in.
She said when I feel it's wrong.
Jump in.
jump in.
Yeah.
When you
even if
feel it's wrong,
You feel
jump
it's
in?
like
Even
it's
if
like
you're scared.
you're so
What
scared.
was
You're like,
wrong?
what's gonna happen?
The
What was
prior
wrong?
company or starting your own company?
I don't know about that advice,
What
guys.
did
I
you
feel
feel
like
was
if
wrong?
it feels wrong,
I
like,
had because I accomplished so much in sales, right? So I reached like a decent salary with my commission, right? But now, and I didn't have any like liability or worry about problems, like for title problems, or like worry about if they don't do the payoff, or like a check is lost in the mail, or all of these things.
or capital or payroll or
Right, or
insurance.
claims or any of these things.
Insurance,
But I
malpractice.
knew like, okay, so yes, you can make more commission, but also you're limited because again, you're working in a company that's not giving you support. So
You said you felt something was wrong. What was that?
I felt
No, she meant
No,
when she
I
said
said-
when you feel it's wrong, jump in. She
no,
meant
you
when
feel
were
it's wrong.
scared.
It's scared. Like
Yeah,
it's
you're
wrong. Like what are
scared.
you doing? You're jumping into your own company. You have a fixed salary. You have a good
Right.
income. You are in a company that's functioning perfectly. Like why would you do that, right?
Because you want more.
Because you want more. Because you don't want to settle. Because in this industry, the sky is the limit.
How much money were you making by end of year one?
You don't have to answer that question.
No, because look, a lot of people
Yeah, people
listening,
wanna know.
a lot of people listening want to know, like, if you jump in, there's no salary, there's draws. Like, we're not asking how much she's making now, but how much at that point after
don't-
a
you don't-
year of hustling?
you don't have to
Where
answer
were
that.
you?
Answer. So
But, but also, like, what made you feel comfortable that you could keep this going 1 year into it?
okay, so
Was it just the money, or was it like, all right, I have
I knew what I brought as a title company was so much value than everyone else out there. Like the title industry is very hard to cut into. It's a cutthroat industry, especially in Monmouth County. There's so many title companies.
Where's that?
That's in New Jersey. And there's so many like sales rep. Like again, in a industry where it's like, so many people. So for me to decide to be a female owner. Right. And again, as a company, you build relationships with other company owners, and that brings back to the company owners are mainly males, right? But I was very confident with how different my sales approach are and how unique of a value me and my team now bring in.
So you knew you would give a good product, and you thought with your good product and your relationships that you built that you could be successful.
Yes, I had no doubt.
But I think that's still tough because there's a lot of title companies, like she mentioned, and to even think that you're going to start your own title company.
So competitive. Look, these guys have money, they have capital, they're taking out lawyers, they're whining, dining, which is a huge part of this business. So you're going in there 1 year out the box, and we still don't even know how much money she made. But when we find out, we'll know that level of risk you're going to take.
So basically, you wanted to build a better product.
Yes, and I wanted better support because I tried to expand the company that I was working for, but because of how things are, I couldn't help the other salespeople because I was like asked to be top sales team, right? Manage everyone, but they couldn't do what I'm doing because there was not enough support.
How much were you making?
So when I started with Foundation, I was at $40,000.
Okay.
Okay, and then when I moved to Victoria Abstract, because I grew the sales of the company immensely, and I was managing a lot of things, I was making $80,000 by the end of the first year.
Okay.
That's
so
amazing.
guys, you're going from $3,300 a month to almost twice that.
Right. No, she's going from stay-at-home mom at $0 a month.
Right.
At negative
Right.
$80,000 to $3,300.
I mean, that was a big thing because $80,000 in the United States is
no, it's a big thing.
You're able to take care of yourself and you're able to take care of your goals, but you wanted more.
But again, it's commission, right? So commission, there's no limit.
You're right. It's hard.
Yeah, but you're an attorney. It's okay. I don't feel bad for you.
So I think one of the reasons Noelle and
Struggling
I,
artists.
so one of the reasons Noelle and I gravitated to having you here today on this podcast was we saw a little bit of our own story in you. Because we started this.
You moved here from a foreign country.
I moved
didn't
here.
know English.
I moved here from New Jersey to New Jersey, and Noelle actually.
It was like marhaba.
Noelle actually did a really big move. She came from a really different place to another. She went from New York to New Jersey, so that was massive.
That was massive.
My God.
From Manhattan, no less.
Jesus, you made that. You traveled.
So that's just like Lebanon to the U.S. It's almost as similar.
It is.
But
depends on where in New York.
Yes.
Right.
But when we started our school, we were in an industry. We've seen different things. I'm not going to say it was a predominantly man or woman's world, but it was a predominantly old school teaching type world, and we wanted to give a better product. We saw that opportunity, and we saw that we wanted to do something different, which is what made you successful. So we did the same thing.
I feel that, I resonate with your story, and I literally, when we opened this school, I got a divorce that year. So I get it.
Eric, you stressed her out that much?
No, but
it was in progress before.
People would have looked at me and said, "Why leave an industry where you were secure, where you would get that paycheck every 2 weeks or whatever it was, because you want more." And the thing that and I know you can vouch for this. The thing that I always tell people coming into real estate is real estate does not really discriminate. Because if you are an older person, if you are a woman, if you are from a certain ethnic group, you can cater to those people that are your peers. And, as a real estate agent, if you're starting and you're like, all I know are the moms from the PTA, go market to the moms from the PTA. If all you know are, people from your neighborhood, which are all Korean, go market to the all Korean neighborhood because you speak their language.
Right.
So real estate, and I'm sure title getting into that sales was, it doesn't discriminate. It's amazing. And you want more.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, sales is very gives you so many opportunities, and you have to find something in common. At the end of the day, you can sell anything, but you have to know a lot about it, and you have to know how to sell it's your relationships, it's how you do things, and people to be confident in you. So that's why credibility is important, and that's why support is important, because if you want to go sell a name of a real estate office or brokerage and I work for this company, what makes you so special?
Right.
What makes me gonna like trust you? Like people look for like different brand names in real estate, right? Because they established your name. But not every office of a franchise is operated the same.
No.
So it doesn't mean if you're a franchise office in Hackensack or like Monmouth County or like Bergen County or whatever you are, that means just because you belong to this brand that you are who you are. I am no one's brand. There's a lot of big title companies existing right now, and they're so flashy in their branding, but they don't do it as a good job, and I'm taking a lot of their clients. Why?
So you're
Because
saying
they're
this,
different.
the smile only gets you so far.
Yes, you have to prove yourself.
Okay.
I mean, the shine is whatever, but at the end of the day, it's what are you bringing to the table?
So when you pick title, had you had any other exposure to real estate?
No, besides like buying my house with my ex-husband and signing papers just because they were telling me sign here and sign
Sign here,
there. I
sign
had
here.
no idea about anything. Which, fun fact, if you buy a house and you put it under an LLC, if you divorce your husband, he won't get it. So if anybody
Wait a minute, ladies.
But you can't get a mortgage.
If you buy a house
Under
under
an
an LLC and you get a divorce, he does not get half. Does it go the other way around?
or
too?
this-
Nima, how
not
do you
like-
buy a house under an LLC?
you can.
First off, please nobody take legal advice from the non-lawyers at the table.
We're not
Like,
giving legal advice.
I'm gonna just
per
go ahead
se.
and disclaim that to everyone. Like, don't go to court and be like, "Well, I always saw this podcast."
Noelle said.
That's like quoting Judge
Yara
Judy.
said.
Yara said.
Like Judge Judy,
No,
case
but-
law 101. Like, no, that's not a real thing. What Yara's talking about is a transfer of title doesn't require your significant other's consent to transfer title,
Right.
but there still is quite an equitable claim into your
Yes.
properties under an
Right,
LLC.
but you can buy and sell it, and then they can go to court and figure it out.
Every
Everything
state-
else.
So she is
Every
not
state
teaching
has-
you how to hide money in your divorce. That is not what's happening on this podcast.
And every state has different laws.
She loves lamp.
Right? Every state has different laws. I don't know what a lamp
That's
is.
like
but-
the least of our problems right now. Like we're out here telling people to like hide money from their husbands and wives and like
So I just want to ask. I want to ask Omar a question because you have
4 wives.
sort of.
So how many LLCs do you need to?
I mean, that's possible. But you have a similar scenario back in the day,
Right.
and you were in a sales career, and like, why didn't you choose title? Why did you choose
Right.
real estate?
Real estate is your second
That's
act.
a good point. So I could relate to a lot of things that you said. I find it really impressive that you went from a sales rep to starting your own company. I still don't know that whole transition, but
No,
it must.
getting interrupted.
We didn't get to that, but it was really impressive. But similar to what you said, I was doing medical sales, and it was really challenging. The company, right out of college, they gave me New Jersey. They said, "Go find the doctors." I'm like, "Do I get a list? Do I get some sort of existing business?" No, just go into cold calling, go meet doctors, go into every hospital. And it was really challenging. And there was a ceiling above my head the entire way through. Plus, I had to do what my manager was telling me. Income was limited, and I'm working hard. I really want to get results over here. So after a few years of that, I got tired of it, and I realized, well, what can I get into that doesn't limit me, doesn't have an income gap? If I'm working this hard, why can't I just go approach houses and start selling them? There's houses everywhere. So what if I just knock on 100 doors? If that's what I want to do, I'll get better results than I'm getting at my job. So that's the reason I got into real estate.
So guys, even from a lawyer's perspective, right? Like my day job's a lawyer.
Right.
At the end of the day, for the most part, unless you do, there's obviously exceptions to everything like personal injury, but lawyers bill hourly. You are limited to how much money you can make based off of the hours you can make. Of course, you would then have to hire people, they bill their hours, but really there are caps set in terms of also what people are willing to pay for certain items. But in real estate, right, you don't have those. There are no caps because you invest in the product that, has a range of buyers. So, even when it comes to a job like a lawyer, which is not a sales rep, like even if you own your own law firm, you're not an employee. There's a ceiling really in every industry, but when it comes to real estate, the only ceiling is the one you build for yourself, right?
Love
Yeah.
that. Yes.
Yeah.
And I just want to say, you can come to the Center for Real Estate Education, recareercenter.com, and explore what you may want to do in real estate, whether it's flipping, whether it's title, whether it's becoming a real estate agent,
Investor.
an investor, right? We talk about all of these things on this podcast, and it's something that there's so many facets that you can decide what's right for you, and they all have unlimited potential. So, yeah.
Yara, so you gave us the Rocky version of your story, right? Let's hear actually some of the underbellies of it, right? you told us all the great things that you did, the products you're offering. What were you afraid of? Like, what were the things that in your heart you were like, okay, if this goes wrong, like I won't be able to pay my bills. Like, you know, my kids have to get new clothes. Like, what was really going on aside from this, like, you know, I'm gonna truck through this. Like, what was really what was going on in your mind? And what do you think the people listening to you taking advice from you, like, what would you tell them about how to overcome those feelings?
So in order to jump from being a top sales to owning my own company, I didn't have a capital.
Right.
So how did I do that? So because I didn't like how things were, I approached my ex-boss and I said, I don't want to like go somewhere else. I don't want to screw you over, basically. And, you know, so let's figure out a deal where like you're out of control of anything and then I can do whatever I want. And I want to open my own company. So he agreed to sell me the foundation, which is like the team that I kind of built as I was there and managing the company, and retire on an X amount of years plan that I pay him, which I'm still paying.
Nice.
But, so I didn't have capital. There's always creative way to
That
figure
was
things
brilliant.
out.
Creative.
That is
Yes.
brilliant. Yeah,
Right?
So,
that really is.
because I was still paying my debt. Okay, so what was I scared? Was I committed to myself, like now I have, it's like a mortgage payment, but a very expensive one to X amount of years that I'm stuck in the
But
contract.
less expensive than if you had to figure it out yourself.
And arguably more just better. It's better for you because you're investing in your future.
Right, but I worked so hard to put myself in a position where like I had leverage to say, okay, yeah, these are your options. I can go somewhere else, and you lose all your clients.
So did you come up with this idea, or did he proposition you?
No, I came up with the idea because of course, like, why would he want to like give up all this money that I'm building? But he's a nice guy. We still have a good relationship. You know, I'll call him every now and then. I still have X amount of years. Hopefully, it'll be done soon. But that's how I found a solution. But sometimes when you're so passionate about what you do and you're good at it, you don't want to throw away any opportunity. So, but I was scared. I was like, how am I gonna manage this company now? Yes, I'm building it. I hired some of the people as managing the company. Now it's gonna be my own. Now I have to pay this guy. I have to pay my mortgage. I have to raise my kids.
Right.
I
You got
have
to pay them before you pay yourself,
Yes.
actually.
In my contract, I have to pay him first. So it doesn't matter. I can make X amount of money, but if I have to pay him like X minus one, and then I'm making one.
You have to find the one, right?
Yes, exactly.
Right.
So that was like a lot of pressure on me. But again, like, not to be like sound like I'm like so confident, but like I knew the value that we brought that was not out there. And I knew if I build a sales team that does exactly what I do.
But we're going back to rah-rah. Let's go back.
But you knew,
You
that.
You asked me like how. So okay. So I
That's
built it.
what
I
were
was
you afraid of?
my afraid of is like not making money, basically failing
But you
after being a
knew-
mom, right? And I failed like because I opened a small business before that didn't work and put me in debt. So I was worried of failing again. But
And failing's not just for you.
no,
Failing's
it's
for your kids
for
too.
my kids,
right.
for everyone, for also the team that I have who believe in me. But you cannot like succeed and build more if you don't fail. Like you learn from failing, and that's how you improve. If you don't fail, you're not gonna grow. So you have to fail. You have to taste how terrible it is.
You have to not be afraid to try.
No, can't.
Well,
And
that
then learn
actually
from your failures.
Natalie wants to know exactly what you're summarizing. Natalie wants to know what is the advice that you have for women just starting out in this field and in this economy. How can they grow? What can they do?
So yes, this economy is a bit different, but I believe if you put your heart and soul in anything, if you give it your best, you're not gonna fail. Like I'm a big believer in this. If you give it your best, you're not gonna fail. Plus your motivation.
Eric is always
Yes.
talking about that. So am I. You have to go head first.
And ask yourself why you're doing what you're doing. So find the reasons why. My reasons over my kids. Like I just had no other options. Like, you know, wasn't going back to my country. I wasn't going back to my family. I had to be here. And
We're going back to the husband either,
No,
right?
definitely
Right.
not. Which actually, that could be some kind of motivation for you out there. Because like some people say, oh, she's not gonna make it on her own, and she's gonna have to like come back crawling. No,
They're with you.
no.
Yeah, but is it good to base your motivation on spiting?
No,
someone
but
else?
I said the
No,
why.
but sometimes
But
it definitely
whatever
feels
feels
good.
Revenge. I
It
mean,
feels good.
success is a good revenge.
anger, whatever.
Success is an excellent revenge. But what mine was like my why were my kids. Like find your why. when you have your why, nothing will stop you because you would do anything for your kids.
Yara, was your husband, when you were making these changes, in the beginning, you made it clear that in that 1 year, you really had to work hard and you weren't around.
Right.
Was your ex-husband supportive? Was he helping with the kids during that time? Like,
No, at the beginning, no, because now we're great friends. But at the beginning, like any people divorced, you hate each other, you want to kill each other.
Exactly.
So like you want to see the other person fail. But now we're good. But at the beginning, no, it was hard. It just happened. I broke my ankle at the beginning, which was really bad. So I couldn't drive. But that's when
Was
also
he driving you around?
No, he wasn't.
who watched your kids? Like for all the people out there who don't have, like, you're interesting because you came from other countries.
Right.
Clearly your family's not here. For all the people listening who don't have like their moms to come and watch their kids for them, like how did you overcome that aspect?
They watch themselves.
So yeah, sometimes they watch themselves, and like sometimes I would leave the house. I had an alarm system. I had camera in the house, and like like I had to leave them. My neighbor like was nice.
Yeah.
Like she would check on them. Like you have to use all your resources. Like whatever resources, you have to think a little bit outside of the box. But the main thing is like as a mom, you do anything to get what you need for your kids. Like
I bring Brendan. I mean, we all know I bring Brendan here all the time. I mean, shout out to Miranda, my mom. I love you. Thank you for always being there for me. Miranda.
I did not know that. I love her mom.
Thank you, mommy.
So much that he does not know her name.
Thank you, mommy. But yeah, Brendan sits in here. All during COVID, he did class right in this room. So yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, definitely. Like, I mean, you have to ask people for help, and it's okay to ask, and then you can pay them back.
Right.
So all the people who helped me, like, I think the one thing I'm really good at is like I don't like to owe anyone anything. So whoever helped me, like I paid it back, and you will.
How did you overcome the gender bias of just being a woman sales rep to business owner?
I mean,
Have you overcome it?
No, I still like. It's funny. Still like a lot of people and a lot of business owners. Even when I'm sitting at a place or like at an event that I earned to be there, like they still like look at me a little bit different just because I'm a woman, like, but you know what? Like it used to bother me, but now I look at them like you're so threatened by me that you had to say something stupid to look stupid in front of a lot of people that work with you. So you just made a fool out of yourself, and good for you. But that shows like how powerful women can be, because they're not used to, sorry, no offense guys, but some men are not used to, not these guys.
No, preach.
These guys are awesome.
Preach. I'm always here by myself.
Yeah,
Preach.
some men like feel like, okay, just because like maybe the old school, I mean not the new generation, just because you're a woman or because I have a bond with the boys or my bro or whatever, my bro, so no, like, I mean, we have bonds with a lot of female realtors, a lot of very few female mortgage ladies that I love working with.
Do you find that you get support from females in the industry? Do you think that
Definitely.
they go out of their way to look out for you and kind of have your back?
I'm a woman-owned and operated company, and I have female partners that we work together to support female real estate agents and help them grow. We don't have a commercial female real estate agent yet, but we're building like team leaders that we're growing. Yeah.
We actually, the Center for Real Estate Education works with the Displaced Homemakers Network of New Jersey. And we actually give scholarships all year long to women who are coming out of divorce or who've just been widowed, who need to get back into the work world.
Right.
And because, I always talk about real estate doesn't discriminate. This is a great opportunity for women who are making that second act, who are making that change. So we give scholarships. We give maybe 20 to 30 scholarships a year.
That's awesome.
To people to start for women to start their real estate careers.
Second act is the way to go. So there's two things I want to just point out. One, Yara said about females there could be this is the wrong word, stigma, but like when they're, in the title industry, people may not like the female jumping into that business, but that could be in any industry, and it doesn't have to be female male. There could be other things like, as a young man starting a real estate business, there were people that were not happy with the approach that we took because it was different. So it's all about being different. You can be different in any way, shape, or form and still get issues or pushback from being different. So you just have to push forward and just make it happen. Don't let being different.
Yes.
Don't let being different stop you. Don't settle if you're different. Just go for it. And I love that you failed and that you came back stronger and that you made that failure into an amazing success, because that's really the way to do it. I failed at I think one thing in my life, maybe two. But and I've taken that and I've made myself stronger with it, and I've came back, and it's just been a real amazing journey. My mentor, I know I said 2 things, but there's going to be 4 things.
Well, we have 3.
Okay. So my mentor failed probably at like 30 or 40 businesses in his lifetime, and he made 50, 60, 70 million dollars at the age of 55.
Wow.
Okay.
Really?
So there's no limits to what can happen in life. You just have to go for it. You just have to make it happen. And my last thing is I'm so impressed with you just in general, but I'm impressed with the way that you thought outside the box to get that title company, that owner, to creatively come up with a structure to help you build your business and buy him out. And you're surrounded by real talent at this table. And, you know, the 4 other people, the 3 other people besides you here and me, these are 3 of my closest friends and business partners. And I always find myself being extremely creative. Like you, we're coming up with these crazy, wacky ideas to do something, and I always pitch it to these crazy people, and they always support me, and we always do stuff. So go for those crazy ideas, think outside the box. That's what's going to make you successful. So great job, Yara.
Yara, before we wrap up, can you give us 10 title tips?
We cannot have 10 title tips.
3 title tips.
3 title tips.
Always hire an attorney.
Okay.
Do not buy any real estate without an attorney.
Okay.
Okay. Do not use a divorce attorney to buy real estate, please.
Very good.
Very, very important. And as real estate agents, make sure you get your CO on time because that could delay your closing and your commission. It's very important. Make sure you get the right names for your agents. That's 3. Good. For
All right,
clients,
guys.
Sorry.
We were here with Yara Chamas, and thank you so much
Thank you for having
being
me.
with us.
Thank you, Nima. Thank you,
Nima,
Omar. Thank
final
you,
word.
Noelle.
Final
Thank you,
word,
Ameri.
Nima.
I don't like being put on the spot like that.
Final word, if you
Final
can.
word, Omar.
No, really impressive. You should have been on our podcast for what is in your DNA, because business is in your DNA.
And we
Real estate's not in her DNA. Business is in her DNA.
Don't forget to subscribe. We're on YouTube. We're on Spotify.
Everywhere we get podcasts.
Something else.
Center for Real Estate
Please
Education.
subscribe. We'd love to hear your comments. We'd love to know more about your want. And remember, if you visualize it, you can own it.
Bye, guys. Mwah.
Remember, guys, sharks always eat.